Hello and welcome to this discussion on vendor selection and negotiation. This is a discussion under the public and private procurement module. So we are going to be understanding how we go about vendor selection and negotiation. And we will understand various selection methods that we are going to be using when we are doing this particular activity. Now we are saying vendor selection and negotiation are very critical stages in public procurement. And when we are doing these particular activities, it involves us identifying the most suitable vendors, and then we are able to go ahead and negotiate favorable terms and conditions for procurement with these vendors. Now, we are going to be doing or approaching vendor selection in a different ways. Number one, for example, is what we call pre-qualification or bid evaluation. In this, we note that depending on the procurement method used, such as competitive bidding, vendors are going to go through a pre-qualification process. So you simply invite the vendors to submit their bids. And when we are talking about pre-qualification, then it involves the organization assessing the qualifications, the capabilities, the financial standing of potential vendors. Bid evaluation also is going to involve assessing bids based on predetermined evaluation criteria. And this is, of course, the criteria that the organization has set, which could be revolving around the price or the pricing of whatever is being bid, the technical qualifications, experience, compliance with specifications, and so on and so forth. And then we also need to bring on board an evaluation committee, and we are going to say that this is typically established in order to review and evaluate the bids or pre-qualification applications. The committee should consist of qualified individuals, and these individuals are also people that are going to be impartial, and they have expertise in the relevant field, and this is around the ability to be able to do proper verification. So this committee now is going to determine the vendor's requirements, and they are capable of delivering the desired goods and services or works. Then we talk about the criteria for vendor selection. So the selection of vendors will be based on a number of criteria. I think we have mentioned them in another slide. So these criteria could be price competitiveness. We could be looking at the technical capabilities. We could be looking at quality. We could be looking at the delivery time. We could be looking at compliance with various specifications and past performance. And also the evaluation committee is also going to assign weights to each criterion, and it's going to be evaluating the bids accordingly to determine the most suitable vendors. Then it comes to the point where we need now to award the decision that we have got from the process that we have just been discussing. So that's why we are saying this is based on the results that we have got, even as an evaluation committee. So when we are awarding the decision, we are also saying that it needs to be documented. We need to provide a clear rationale for the selection of winning vendors. And it is also very important and crucial to communicate the decision to all participating vendors in a transparent and a timely manner. When we are doing sourcing strategies in public procurement, we are going to be using a number of methods. The first one is what we call competitive bidding. And when we are talking about competitive bidding, we are saying that it is one of the most widely used sourcing strategies in public procurement. It is going to involve inviting multiple suppliers to submit their bids or proposals in response to solicitation. The bids are going to be evaluated based on a predetermined criteria, and the contract is going to be awarded to the supplier offering the best value for money. Then we have what we call frameworks agreements, and we are saying these ones are pre-established agreements with one or more suppliers, and the intention is to be able to establish terms and conditions for future procurement needs. These agreements are going to outline the pricing, the delivery terms, and other contractual provisions. So public entities need to make specific purchases from pre-selected suppliers, and they need to do this without going through the bidding process. And this is sometimes done by public institutions. One of the benefits of this kind of a method is that it simplifies the process, the procurement process. Of course, we can also talk about it being a quicker method, a quicker procurement method, and it is also going to improve supplier relationships. So it is also a good method. Sourcing strategies in public procurement. We are going to have request for quotations. So the procuring entity is going to request quotations from select group of suppliers, and this is usually based on pre-established terms and conditions. So what happens is that the entity is going to evaluate the quotations, and they are going now to award the contract to the suppliers offering the best value. And then we have what we call negotiated procurement. This involves direct negotiation with one or a few selected suppliers, and it is typically used for specialized or complex procurements. And we also say that it allows for flexibility in discussing terms. So here the organization sits down with the suppliers, and they are able to have a conversation. When we get to this kind of a method, we say that as part of the advantages is that it has a greater flexibility compared to other procurement methods. It can prioritize on quality over price, and it encourages suppliers to propose innovative solutions. We also have what is called reverse auctions. These kind of auctions are conducted online, and we have multiple suppliers that compete to offer the lowest price. When we talk about auctioning, it is a pricing strategy where we rely on having the lowest bidder qualify to supply the products. So the auction platform displays the current lowest bidder, and the suppliers will always have an opportunity to bid, to revise the bids. So the contract most definitely will be awarded to the person who has bid the lowest amount. And then we have collaborative sourcing. This is going to involve public entities collaborating with other entities, such as government agencies or neighboring municipalities, and the main purpose is jointly procure goods and services, pooling resources and leveraging collective purchasing power. We are saying may lead to cost savings and increased efficiencies. We also have what we call direct contracting. These we are saying occurs when there is only one qualified supplier. We could be having one who is very good at what they do, and then it may be used in cases of emergency, sole source suppliers. So emergencies could be periods like when we had COVID-19, in the situations where countries are having war. And we are saying, finally, in direct contracting, we need to have care taken to ensure that there is transparency and justifiability. So even if we are doing the direct contracting method, then it is not an opportunity for us to invite cronies and friends in this kind of conversation. The other one is local sourcing, where public entities may adopt strategies to prioritize local suppliers. And this is going to lead to us to promote local economic development. And this will be done through various policies. And these policies are meant to encourage the local participants, or to encourage local participation when setting specific requirements for local content, some contracting, and also job creation. Now, we have different evaluation criteria in public procurement that we use. In other words, what is it that we consider? Number one, we very importantly look at the price or cost. The price or cost criterion is going to assess the financial aspects of the bids or proposals. And it is typically also going to involve evaluating the proposed prices. And this is going to include any discounts, any taxes, or additional charges. We have the technical capability. When we are talking about the technical capability, we are talking about the criterion that we are going to use to evaluate in terms of technical qualifications and capabilities of the suppliers to be able to meet the requirements specified in the solicitation. So when we are looking at the technical capabilities, we are looking at factors such as experience, expertise, technical skills, qualifications of key personnel, and the supplier's track record in similar projects. Evaluation criteria: quality and conformance to specifications. This is going to include, we are looking at the quality aspect and the ability for the suppliers to be able to conform to whatever the organization is looking for. So we are looking at how well proposed goods and services or works are going to meet specified standards. So when you are looking at the quality aspect, we are looking at the quality assurance plan, compliance with technical specifications, product samples, warranties, and the ability to provide a satisfactory level of performance, and also the delivery time. So the delivery time criterion is going to assess the supplier's ability to meet the required delivery schedules or project timelines. And this is also going to consider factors such as the proposed delivery schedule. So are the suppliers able to keep to the proposed delivery schedule? There is something in delivery we call the lead time. How long are the suppliers going to take before they deliver this item? That is also a critical consideration. The other one is the financial and legal standing. The criterion evaluates the financial stability and legal compliance of the suppliers. And it may involve assessing factors such as the supplier's financial statements, bank references, insurance coverages, different forms of certification. Do they have them? Different forms of licenses. Do they have them? Potential conflicts of interest. So these are very, very critical questions that we continue to ask as we do evaluation. Very, very importantly, we also have to look at the past performance. What is the track record of the suppliers in terms of past supplies? Have they been able to get it right? We could even want to confirm that from specific people, specific or organizations. Yeah. The other one is negotiation in public procurement. It is going to refer to the process of engaging in discussions and reaching mutually acceptable terms and conditions with suppliers or contractors. So negotiation is very, very important in this procurement. Now, when we are doing negotiation, we are saying that it is an objective and a fair process. Public procurement negotiation should be conducted in an objective and a fair manner, and we need to ensure that it is transparent and equal treatment of participating suppliers. And then we have the negotiation process should adhere to established procurement regulations and policies. And also we need to ensure that we have the principle of fairness. We have ensure also the principle of integrity, ensure also the principle of accountability. And then also we go ahead and do preparation before we are entering into any negotiations. The procurement entity needs to conduct a thorough preparation, and this is going to include clarification of procurement requirements, and we are going to do this by the need for us to define the scope of work, need for us to identify the desired outcomes and determining the negotiation parameters. And preparation also is going to involve analyzing the market conditions, supplier proposals, the need to understand the risks and opportunities that are associated with procurement. Clear objectives. The procurement entity should have clear objectives and well-defined negotiation strategies. When you are talking about clear objectives, we need to identify also, as we get into any negotiation, what are the key areas of negotiation, such as pricing, such as delivery schedules, such as payment terms, warranties, or any other form of contractual provisions. And we are saying the objectives should be aligned with the organization's needs and priorities. And the key aim is to achieve value for money of the desired outcomes. We also need to look when you are doing negotiation, we need the aspect of flexibility and creativity. So negotiations in public procurement is going to require people to be flexible, and also need to be willingness to explore creative solutions. And it involves engaging in discussions with suppliers to understand their perspectives. We need to address various concerns and finding mutually beneficial solutions. And the negotiation also need to allow open communication. We need to consider various options and trade-offs to be able to achieve the best outcomes. Very, very important also when we are doing negotiations, the need to ensure we are complying with the law, what we are calling legal compliance. So it should adhere to applicable laws, regulations, procurement policies. It is very, very essential also to ensure that the negotiated terms and conditions need to comply with the legal requirements, the contractual obligations, and any applicable ethical standards. When you're talking about compliance here with legal frameworks, it helps protect the interest of procuring entities, and it is also going to prevent potential disputes. We also need approval and oversights. Negotiated terms and conditions, including any changes and amendments, need to be reviewed and approved. And the purpose where we are doing this is ensure that negotiation align with organizational objectives, policies, and legal requirements. Therefore, we need adequate oversight and governance to be able to do this. So negotiation techniques in public procurement are very, very critical, because we are saying they are going to be helping the officials navigate and discuss, reach mutually beneficial agreements with suppliers. So these techniques are going to aim to ensure transparency, fairness, value for money in the procurement process, and they also include preparation. Thorough preparation is also very, very crucial in entering into negotiations. This is going to involve understanding the market conditions when you are going to the negotiating table. If you are going to quote the prices, what are the market prices around the commodities, supplier capabilities, potential negotiation points. Procurement officials should have a clear understanding of their organization needs, priorities, and desired outcomes. There is need to do gathering relevant information and data in order to be able to help establish a very strong foundation for negotiation. So when we are doing negotiation, we also need to use a number of techniques. We need to use active listening. This is very, very important. So allow everybody in the negotiating table to give their point of view, and the procurement officials and those that are in the negotiating table can address their needs effectively. We can also have a win-win approach. This one is going to be seeking to find solutions that are going to satisfy everybody in the table, the procuring entities. It's going to involve exploring options such as trade-offs and create value for both parties. We also need to build relationships with suppliers. They need to be able to foster trust and facilitate constructive negotiations. It is very, very important to have open lines of communication, and the need to respect the suppliers, treat them with respect even as you engage in different dialogues. The need to be able to promote collaboration. The other one is anchoring concession strategies. And anchoring concession strategies is a technique where the negotiator is going to be setting a reference point or the starting position for discussion. And this is going to influence the perception of value and guide the negotiation towards more favorable terms. Concession strategies, we are saying they are going to involve conceding or trading certain aspects to gain advantage. So the reason why we use this kind of a technique is that it can help shape the negotiation dynamics and steer discussions towards desired outcomes. And finally, we can also use the technique of creative problem solving. So in this one, we are going to adopt a creative problem solving approach. And this is going to encourage innovative thinking and explore alternative solutions. And for this technique, it's going to involve what we call brainstorming and considering different options to address various challenges that overcome or be able to overcome various obstacles. So this method can lead to a more flexible and innovative procurement solutions. So also it is important to understand that this is a very critical place on vendor selection. So the aspect of supplier evaluation should not be taken for granted. It should be able to be achieved in the best way possible. And the reason why we do supplier evaluation is the need for us to ensure that there is transparency, the need for us to ensure that there is fairness, the need for us to ensure that there is we are able to comply, and the need for us also to be able to check on quality assurance, to be able to get value for money and ensure efficiency. So thank you so much. That is going to bring us to the end of this discussion. I believe that it has been enlightening to you. You can also do research more on these areas to be able to even understand them better, and be able to also improve your understanding on vendor selection and negotiation.